Hello, hi everyone. I am Justina Ukechukwu, and today I have the pleasure of having with me in the studio Jennifer Emiabata. Jennifer is a chartered chemical engineer with over 20 years experience in the manufacturing industry. But that's not all. Jennifer seems to wear a lot of hats and she's done so much, and she's an entrepreneur as well, and she's doing so much over there in the UK. And let me just say a few things I have heard and learned about Jennifer. While I was speaking with Victoria, she said one word she used in describing Jennifer. She said resilient, and I think that's a very good word, and it encompasses the kind of person Jennifer is. But she would let us know all of that as we dive into this Q&A session with her, and we're looking at a topic called a day in the life of a female engineer. Jennifer, it's good to have you here. How are you?
Hi, Justina. It's good to speak to you too, to be on this platform and share with you all.
Thank you, Jennifer. So let's just get right into it, right? Jennifer, tell us a bit tell us more, not just a bit, but tell us more about you. Who is Jennifer? What does she do? And what do you do in general? Just talk to us about it.
Right. So my name is Jennifer. It's good to be on this platform. I'm a chemical engineer by profession, and I've been in the manufacturing industry, specifically the pharmaceutical industry, for over 20 years. And during that time, I've had the privilege to work on many popular brands of pharmaceutical products and healthcare products as well. I graduated with a master's degree in chemical engineering and did my industrial placement with a pharmaceutical company in the US, and that's how I got into the pharmaceutical industry and developed a passion for changing people's life and contributing to their well-being and saving lives, most importantly as well. As a chemical engineer working in the pharmaceutical industry, it is it's a very important role because we're responsible for doing all the design, construction of the facility, designing of the equipment, testing and commissioning of the equipment before it is handed over for production use. This is very critical because our industry is highly regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, i.e. the FDA, and the MHRA in the UK and other agencies around the world, because at the end of the day, the products that we make save lives, and we have to make it to good manufacturing practice. Hence, the importance of the design of these critical equipment and infrastructures that we use during the manufacturing process.
Great. I like that you kept mentioning one phrase, and that is saving lives. So it's all about saving lives for Jennifer. Thank you so much for that. And let's just dive right into how a typical day for you looks like. What does it look like for you? Just a typical day for Jennifer, what does that look like?
A typical day for a project or process engineer will normally involve first having a project meeting in the morning with the project teams, which will include the quality, safety people, process engineering people, automation engineering, basically all the production team as well, to go through a major project that we're working on, to discuss any kind of design or critical component issue, safety issue during that project meeting. If we're going to meet time scales in terms of the delivery of the project, and we'll normally have a design review meeting with our supplier. So the supplier that has designed the equipment for us as we want it in a user specification, go through drawings, making sure that the equipment that the supplier is providing for us is as we specified in a user requirement. So after that, we'll normally I do a lot of writing of testing protocols. So basically, I am writing the protocol that we're going to use to test the system once the system has been installed, to ensure that that system is able to produce, let's say we're producing tablets, for example, at the right speed. Is it producing it the right diameter of the drug, or the thickness, the hardness of the drug, making sure that it contains the right quantity of active ingredients in the drug. So I'm writing that the protocol. And after that, I will normally do testing. So going on the plant and testing that protocol, basically doing like trials to make sure that once we go into like production mode, we're getting the right product. And so I'll normally do that, and also do like what we call like installation and validation installation. So this is very critical in the pharmaceutical industry, because when we're being looked into by the Food and Drug Administration, they will normally look at all the, basically they want evidence to say what you said you are producing, there's evidence that you can produce it. So they look through all the paperwork. So this is very critical in the pharmaceutical industry. So I make sure the protocol is completed, it is reviewed and signed, and when we execute it, we're doing an execution of that of the testing according to that protocol. So this is what will be like a typical day will look like in the pharma industry for an engineer.
Well, that looks like a lot of things to do and unpack in just one day. But how do you?
It is a very busy day.
Yeah, a very busy day. But how do you maintain work-life balance when you have all of this lined up for you in a whole day?
It's very important to have to be organized.
Mm-hmm.
So like before I start my day, I will normally put like my to-do list together.
Okay.
And of course you would have like a meeting. So like the meetings that we have are like regular meetings. So that will already be in your calendar. So this will help you to write your to-do list, when you're going through that. And so it's just being organized, having a good your diary, making sure everything is up to date, so that your back-to-back activities, you plan it for the day. So that's how you manage day-to-day activities.
Jennifer, I know that we have to have a planner, right? I know that, but I'd like to ask that question again. Now, it's about work-life balance. Okay, now you have these things lined up for you. You've scheduled the days. When do you have time for yourself?
Yeah.
Like, when do you have time to play? When do you have time to have fun and relax and unwind? When do you have that time?
So work-life balance is very, very important to me, especially as a woman, because I have family. So I do hybrid working. So I do 2 to 3 days on site, 2 to 3 days at home. So it varies depending on what activity I need to do on site. So that's how so that helps a lot. So if I need to do lots of paperwork, I will do it at home. If I need to supervise installation activities, I will go on site to do it. So that helps me to manage that work-life balance. And also flexibility. Flexibility in terms of it doesn't have to be 9 to 5. That's one thing I love about the job now. I think since the pandemic, the industry, especially the engineering industry, they've had to reinvent that work-life balance and things that we can do at home and things that we can do outside of the work environment. And that helps a lot. It helps me to do childcare, do school runs, maybe GP visits, or for my own me time, like going to do exercises, So I fit that during the day because I can work later in the day to make up for my time, and that's how I manage my my work-life balance. Basically, the flexibility is very important, and doing hybrid working, sometimes remote, depending on the kind of work that I'm doing week to week.
Yeah, so I heard everything you had to say about how you are able to manage the work-life balance and all of that, which you are really doing well, if I must say myself. And but I wanted to also ask, as a woman who is in a female-dominated um, career space, how do you navigate? What challenges do you face, and how have you been able to navigate all of these challenges?
Yeah, so I would say typically being like in the UK, for example, I'll just give you the
Yeah.
statistics. I think about 13% of us are in the engineering industry.
Mm.
In 20, this is like as of 2022.
That's low.
In
That's very
2020,
low.
it was 10%. Very low. Yeah. Now you can imagine I've been in the industry for 20 years. So back 20 years ago, I would tell you that it was like less than 10%. So things are getting better now at 13.5%. So in that kind of situation, one major thing that's is like the welfare, women welfare at work. When I say welfare, things like the toilet, for example, having the right facilities in the toilet for women, because it's a male-dominated environment. So these kind of things are not being thought about. So we're female, we have to do female things, for example. So that is a major issue, which has improved over time. Another thing is because in a male-dominated environment, like things like childcare, trying to negotiate childcare, pregnancy, when you're pregnant, when you're caring for family members, for example. Back then things were, trying to negotiate time off, to do things was challenging, but that is improving now after the pandemic. Also, some, like I would say, the older generation can be old-fashioned. So they, the older generation who thinks that what jobs a woman can do or cannot do, or where your place should be. Again, with education, with training, with awareness, that is now changing. And of course, working in that kind of environment, you have to manage the situation. You have to be very diplomatic. You have to be very, of course, being assertive at the same time, finding a common ground, basically, so that people get to know you as a person and break any barriers. So that's the way I've managed it over time.
Great. Great. I like the fact that you've been able to navigate your way through all of these challenges, and the fact that the engineering space for women have come a long way and in evolving as well, and which we're taking those strides, because many times, even over here in Nigeria,
That's
when
good.
I was
That's
still in
good.
school,
That's good. Yeah, it's true.
I remember
We take it for granted. It might sound little, but we've got a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have really come a long way, and I must say kudos to you as well. I wanted to ask as well, what are some common misconceptions about your career as an engineer, especially as a female engineer, that you would like to clear up? What are those misconceptions you've heard out there?
That's so. Things like, only men, you see, the image you have in your head is like the men in boiler suits, dirty, with all this dirty machinery, lot of men with their writing board on sites, or that engineering is not creative, that it's just 1 + 1 = 2, that you don't require soft skill to be an engineer. That is an old myth. You do need soft skills. It's very important. It goes a long way. So those kind of things, that it's not just you being technical. Soft skills is very important as well. Engineers are creative as well. Yes, 1 + 1 = 2, but there are other ways that you can add numbers together to equals 2. So finding out, so that creativity is very important. We have to be creative to do what we're doing. that's one thing that I love about manufacturing. You see innovative ideas, crazy ideas that is being brought into the industry to make things happen. Like things like what should I say? Even things like chocolate making, for example, like Maltesers, the round Maltesers. How do you put chocolate around it? I am very fascinated. I am very fascinated with these kind of things. They interest me. Things that we take for granted. But we don't know how it come about. So creativity, goes a long way. And it's not true that it's only men that works in engineering. There are lots of women that are coming in. And we have core engineering, like civil engineering, mechanical engineering, but we have a lot of other engineering coming in, like system engineering, like software, machine learning, instrumentation, and these are bringing in women that allows women, so you don't have to work on site 100%. There are engineering activities now that you can do remotely as well. So that's another myth that has been, it dropped by the wayside now.
Great. I think that's really fascinating. That's really fascinating. Many times, I remember when I was in university, and when I see just a very few female engineers that were in school back then, had this. Prior to that time, we had these misconceptions about the fact that they're probably in an oil well somewhere digging oil, digging oil and so on. But getting into school, and I'm seeing very few amazing ladies doing stuff and looking all beautiful and put together. But one thing I noticed was after university, some of them just move on to doing other things. They're not practicing, they just move on to doing something else. And it's just beautiful to see that you took that mantle and just kept on going. Now you're in the manufacturing industry and you're doing so.
Absolutely.
And you're doing so well. And I think this is something that the younger people, the younger ones would like to learn from, because many times you don't hear many girls. And you, for instance, you talk a lot about diversity and inclusion in STEM fields, which is something that VOA is very, very, very particular about. What are you doing in this space? Tell us more about it.
Yeah. So I am very, very passionate about women, young people, black, white, coming into the industry. It is because it's we need to manufacture. Technology is very important. Not just with manufacturing. Technology is like everywhere. So it's a great passion of mine to bring people into the industry. So the company that I'm working for now, GlaxoSmithKline, for example, they do a lot of they bring in a lot of female, which I'm very excited about. Through graduate programs, for example, through apprenticeship, I'm seeing a lot of female coming in doing like instrumentation engineering, automation engineering, for example, which I'm very excited about. In terms of how I personally have been helping in this area, so when I did my chartered engineering status, one of the things I had to do is like go join with the Institute of Chemical Engineers and helping to promote chemical engineering in schools. So I go to schools, I go to open days to promote specifically chemical engineering. And then through one of the companies that I worked for, where we got involved with the Royal Institute of Engineering in the UK. And basically they promote STEM subjects, all over UK. And one of the things that I had to do is work with a particular school where we're giving them a real company project. So I bring them into the company, give them a real project, and I'm going to the school on twice in a month to see how they're progressing, to help them. Basically they're like designing like a waste treatment plant on a small scale, like a pilot plant scale. So I was helping them, they got stuck. I'm going there to just to move things forward. And at the end, when they finished that project, we had to like present it. There are other students from different schools as well that present all kinds of design. So that was very interesting. So that's another way I do it. I also, when they do like Science Week, we have Science Week in the UK. I don't know if they do it in Nigeria or in the US, but in the UK we have Science Week. During Science Week, I'll go into schools. and maybe like build like we work as a team, divide them into like teams. One team will build like a solar boat. Another one will build a solar car, and then we race, and see which one goes faster. Those kind of things, just to to make people more interested and bring people in. So those are the kind of things that I do, to try and promote engineering, not just to women, but to all the younger generations as well.
Which is really interesting. It's really interesting, and I like the fact that I like how more fields of engineering are being created to accommodate even the female, even the women in engineering as well.
Absolutely.
Which is really interesting. Yes. And yeah, I just saw a question in the chat box that says, how can we get students into engineering internships? Do you have ideas about how we can do that?
Yes. So I know that GlaxoSmithKline, for example, they do. If you go on their website and just put GSK apprenticeship, for example, they will give details of what. So I know that some of the children, some of the girls that I spoke to, where they I think they go to they do like a show where they do like an apprentice show where people will go to in the UK, that is. And you go there, and there are different industries that are there to present, to try and bring in students to start the apprenticeship with them. So that's how GlaxoSmithKline have, they've received application, and they'll bring them in for interview, and they do a series of workshop of testing with them, and then the people that are successful, when they bring them in, what they do is so they do, like, instead of you doing like 3 years in university, you do 6 years with GSK, and during that 6 years, you're doing hands-on experience, you're doing real-life project like everybody, and you're going to university at the same time as well.
Wow.
So it is brilliant.
That's brilliant. That's really brilliant.
It is brilliant. So they pay for everything.
Wow. I'm sure people would listen to this and just take advantage of the opportunities as well.
Yes.
Really nice.
So I know all the major companies do it. So do just Google whichever company you're interested in and just put in apprenticeship against it and see, how you can go in there. But it's a very interesting avenue. You're still doing your degree. You're just gonna take a longer time. You are gaining hands-on experience at the same time as well.
That's really nice. Thank you so much for that. And now, imagine a young listener who is interested in engineering. What can you tell them about the daily realities of the job to set, in order for them to set realistic expectations and inspire them for that?
Yeah, sure. I will say, if you're thinking of going to be an engineer of any sort, I would say industrial placements is important. That is what helped me to hone my career path. And so if you can gain an industrial placement, go to a university that offers industrial placement, so that you can gain hands-on experience while you study. I would say 1. 2, I would say have a mentor. It's very important. Mentor can be anyone, like on this platform. I'm sorry, we have a lot of leaders on this platform that you can use as mentor to guide you. I will also say connection like LinkedIn is very important. Subject groups, like when I say subject groups, so as a chemical engineer, I join subject groups. Like I'm interested in like biotech industry. I'm interested in life science. So I'll normally join subject group, maybe on LinkedIn, or it might be through iChemi. So that's where you are building network as well. And from there you can even get a mentor as well. But you're building network. And from the subject groups, you're seeing a lot of articles that is being out there that you can read as well. And I also join so because I work in the pharma industry, like international International Society of Pharmaceutical Engineers. There's a lot of training on there that I go on to, lots of networking as well. So there's a lot of ways that that you can use, and I think social media make it very easier as well now to try and network positively. Educationally, I would say it's not hard. To hone your career path.
Great, thank you for that. You mentioned something very important, which is mentorship, and I'm sure that even for you, you had to leverage this at one point in your life, and even now. So, can you speak a bit more about the impact that mentorship has had on your career?
Yes, I know that BC, if you're listening, she can support me on this. Our chemistry teacher when we were doing our A-levels, his name is Dr. Parker.
Great.
He has been my number one mentor. He while we were doing our yes, thank you. When we were doing our chemistry A-levels, my goodness, we have to balance the equation. If we don't balance the equation, we don't leave the class. And he's a black guy, and he always tells us, because a lot of us that were doing our A-levels at that point at Tottenham College or College of North East London in North London now, a lot of us were from the black family, so that we are at my cohort at that point.
Yeah.
So he was, drilling into our head, the importance of us working hard, what we have to do different as a black person, to make it in the industry. So I would say he was my number one guidance, while I was, deciding on my career path. And I would say my brother as well. My brother was amazing. God bless him. He studied electronic engineering at University of London, and he's very good in math. So he's the one that was teaching me math and chemistry. So he helped me a lot. So he's my mentor, my number two mentor as well. So those are the kind of people that have guided me in terms of generally. Like Madam C.J. Walker, I think she invented black hair products. I love her story. I love her resilience. So I those kind of people I love so much. They inspire me, to go forward. So those I would say are my typically it's just people around me and the people that read their story in the past as well. Those are the kind of people that are my mentor.
Wow! Thank you so much for that. I really what you said just gave me a bit of flashback. And I can see Victoria making comments, and she said there is no rest.
Yeah, to remember.
Okay, I can see that. I can see how much of impact that has had on you, and even in your work life, how you've been able to balance things, even in your life. Now I can say for sure that the word resilience encapsulates your person. So thank you. Kudos to that.
Thank you.
So lastly,
thank you very much.
Thank you. So lastly, I wanted to just ask, what advice would you give to your younger self, especially regarding navigating a career in engineering? And another thing, what else would you be doing? I wanted to add these questions together. If you were not in engineering, what would you be doing? Is it engineering or nothing, or just
all right?
Or still, you could have both ways.
So I'll tell you now. So over my 20 years experience as a chemical engineer, I am dipping in, I am dipping out. Like maybe life happens.
Yeah.
Life as a woman, life happens. You get married, you have children.
Right.
So sometimes you need to go out, and so when I go out of industry, I do other things. I sell online. I create brands for myself that I sell. I like to create, because I create things. I'm creative, with my hand as well. I create things that I sell as well. So while my baby was growing up, and once she reached age when she went back to school, then I went back into the industry again, into engineering industry. In terms of what I will say to my younger self is negotiation skill. We as women, we don't know how to negotiate properly compared to our men counterparts. So when I say negotiating, it's like, for example, negotiating when you're negotiating in work, like when you first get a job. So now I've learned that I have to negotiate. I've said, yeah, this is what I want. I want hybrid. I want flexibility in my work. It is very important. So we have to be bold. We have to be brave to negotiate what works for us. So this is what I would tell to my younger self. This is what I'm doing now. Yeah. So that is very important. Yeah, it's very important. And if
absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So so I'm just gonna say, yeah, because I know that, and this is what I've, in terms of my longevity in the engineering industry. Of course, I know other female engineers like me that have decided for one reason or the other to move to other things. I mean, typically they say about 57% of women will normally, they will move out and maybe come back in again, or some might just find other things to do. But in terms of longevity, you make it work for you. Yeah, make it work for you. So before, I used to be a project engineer. I did process engineering. I've done plant engineering. Now I am doing validation engineering. And that validation engineering is I am writing testing protocols and testing equipment. So this allow me to have more flexibility in terms of work-life balance. So within that engineering industry, I am moving around and seeing the thing that what aspects of that engineering work best for me at this time of my life. So that's what I would say.
Fantastic. I picked out three things. You mentioned three things. You said creativity. Harness your creative energy into being able to explore. And you mentioned using negotiation skills.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I didn't learn early, and that was being able to work on my negotiation skills. And women have, especially women, have been relegated to the background in that regard. And I think that's something that every woman should learn.
Absolutely.
Negotiation. Yes. And you mentioned the third one, which is flexibility and being able to find your feet, what fits you, what is that thing that you can do very well. So find your space, even in that large space. Just find your space and be good at it, and then everything begins to work out for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Can I just say one thing as well? We are not superwoman.
Go ahead.
We are not superwoman. Just be yourself. Don't be superwoman. Be yourself. Okay.
Great. Yeah, you are very correct. You're very correct. Everybody, I think many times women are looking for how to be super women and not being themselves. And I think it spurs from a place of trying to be equal, trying to fight for that place of equality, and not understanding that there is an extent to which you can go, but being able to create a space for yourself and working within that space. You don't have to try to be, extra, but do what you can do and do it well.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jennifer. You have really expounded on many things, and you've touched on so many areas that I know that even both the young and the old can learn from. I, for one, I have learned a lot of things. What caught my attention mostly was negotiation skills.
Oh yes.
Negotiation skills. So I'm taking that really seriously. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It was really good speaking with you here on VOA. And I would like to also say to our viewers that VOA has a mentorship program, so you can also leverage this, of which Jennifer is also a part of. We have her; she's here for us to take advantage of
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Yes, take advantage of that. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Is there anything you'd like to say lastly? Any parting words?
Just as I say, be yourself. Is what I would say. You have to be passionate of what you want to do. Be passionate about it. Not because other people are doing it and want to do it. You have to be. It has to be your passion. That is very important. That's why it's important to be yourself. That's what I would say.
Right. Thank you so much. Be passionate. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to watch this program today. It's been a very insightful session with Jennifer Emiabata. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for
Thank you
gracing
very
our
much, Justina,
screens
for having
today.
me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There are comments in the comment section saying thank you. So thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and goodbye.